Welcome to Introduction to E-commerce. Today is our chapter 2. It's about e-commerce infrastructures. So there are 4 objectives today we are going to learn. The first is discuss the origin of the key technology concept behind the internet. The second is to understand the limitations of today's internet and the potential capabilities of the internet of the futures. And the third objective is to understanding how the web works. And lastly is describe how internet and web features and support e-commerce. So we have to know about the internet. According to the definitions, the internet is interconnected with thousands of computers and networks, and normally is linked to business, education institutions, government agencies, and individuals. Of course, we know that World Wide Web, or aka as WEB, is one of the internet most popular services, which provide access to billion, possibly trillions of web pages. So we have to look about the past history of about internet, the evolutions of internet from 1961 until presently. So at first, in the first stages, what is called innovation phases, it starts from 1961 until 1974. It's about creations of fundamental building blocks. The second phase is named as institutionalization phases, which started from 1975 until 1995. So it's the largest institutions provide fund and legalizations, and after 1995 it's also third phases is about commercialization phases until present. Normally it's about the private corporates take over, expand internet backbone and local services. So the internet key technologies concept. Internet defined as network. So from technological point of view, right, normally is use IP address. IP as named as Internet Protocol, and it's also support TCP/IP transmission control protocol / Internet Protocol. It provides services to user in a manner similar to telephone system. So in order to support the internet from technology point of view, there are 3 important concepts. The first one is a packet switch network, TCP/IP communication protocol, and client-server computing to form out the internet. So packet switch slice digital message into the packet, send packet along different communication paths as they become a variable. When they reach the destination, they will try to reassemble packets, and of course they have to pass through certain route. For example, they are using routers, so special purposes computer that interconnect the internet, computer networks that make up the internet and route package. Of course, they are supported by routing algorithm. This is to ensure that all the package take the best available path towards their destination, and the cost to implementation, right, is less expensive compared to secure switching. So how it look like? At first, on our left hand side there are 4 diagrams, and then on the top of the stack, right, we can see that I want to communicate with you. So on our right hand side is about the labeling. So when it's going to transfer into the bits, right, so you can see that it just use binary number. They are started by 0, 1, 0, 1 and 0, 1 and so on. So this is the message is being converted or in the digitized in the bit. When the bits write in the separate token, then they will put inside a package, and the header informations added to each package indicated destination and other control, such how many bits are in the total message and how many packets. The second important components about the internet from technological point of view, right, is about TCP/IP. So TCP, named as Transmission Control Protocol, is used to establish connections among sending and receive web computer. It also handles the assembler of packet at the point of transmission and the reassembly at the receiving end. So IP, named as Internet Protocol, is provide Internet addressing scheme. There are 4 layers inside TCP IP. First layer is network interface layer, second is internet layer, third is transport layer, and lastly is applications layer. So the third important component about the internet is about the client and server computing. It's a powerful personal computers as a client connected in the network where one or more servers and server perform common function for the client. For example, they're used to storing file, to access the software applications, or access to the printer, and so on. So what next? Other internet protocol and utility program. For example, internet protocol, as I mentioned earlier, there is a HTTP, which means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. For example, we read the informations from the web browser. Is supported by HTTP. Second, by email protocol, for example, SMTP, POP, IMAP. And the third protocol that we are going to use is FTP, Telnet, SSL, or TLS. There are also certain programs used and help us to trace and diagnostics about the network. For example, we can using a built-in command ping and trace ERT to trace about the packet routing and about the network traffic as well. So e-commerce, right, we have to know about the internet by today. So internet growth has born without disruptions because of client server computing model. Second, hourglass layer architectures, for example, networks technology, substrate, transport services and representation standard, and middleware services and applications. There are also about some of the limitations about the current internet. For example, bandwidth issue, slow peak hour services. Second, they are about the quality of service limitation, for example, latency. The third issue is the network architecture limitations. Identical requests are processed individually, and of course, wire internet, because we are still reliant on the copper wires compared to fiber optics cable. So the new client, the new mobile platform, its primary internet access is now through first tablet, supplement PC for mobile situations, and second by smartphone disruptive technology because of new processor and new operating system. For example, some user they are trying to using Android system, or some of the user they are using iOS system. So 42% of all cell phone user, 1.8 billion worldwide, are smartphone user. So the next generations about the computing for e-commerce platform might be cloud computing. Firms and individuals obtain computing powerful and software over the internet. However, they can classify into public, private, and hybrid cloud. And of course, it's radically reduced cost of building and operate website, infrastructures, IT support, and hardware and software. And of course, it also brings certain risks. Organizations become dependent on the outside provider. So it's about the evolving about the web. In 1989 until 1991, the web is being invented by Tim Berners-Lee at CERN. So there are some protocol is being introduced and software, for example, HTML HYPERTEXT markup language, HYPERTEXT transfer protocol, web server, and browser is being introduced. and 1993 on the second phases, Mosaic web browser with GUI. GUI means graphic user interface, which means we can conduct the internet activities through certain operating system, for example Microsoft Windows, Macintosh, Apple Macintosh, or Unix. And in 1994, right, the Netscape Navigator is the first commercial web browser introduced by Anderson James Clark. And in 1995, right, Microsoft Internet Explorer is being introduced. So this is the architectures or hardware used to support the internet. If let's say user would like to know that how e-commerce is working in behind. So web server software and method enable a computer to deliver web page to the client on a network that requests the service by sending an HTTP request. There are two mainstream about the server software, for example Apache. The second stream is Microsoft IIS. It means Internet Information Services. Their basic capability such as security, services, FTP, search engine, and data captures. Web server may refer either web server software or physical server. Normally, specialized server is database server, advertisement AD server, and so on. And web client, any computing devices attached to the internet that is capable of making HTTP requests and display HTML pages. So this is the current statistics about the web browser favored by the most user. So its primary purposes to display web pages. So Internet Explorer still domain domain to the markets, followed by Chrome 30%, Mozilla 11.5%, and Apple Safari is 5%. So hypertext, what is about hypertext? It's about the text formatted with embedded links. Its link connects document to one another's and to others objects such as sound, video, animations, text, and files. And of course, is used hypertext transfer protocol and URL to locate the resource. For example, so you can see that HTTP means the hypertext transfer protocol, followed by the domain name, and followed by the structures of the website, and followed by to the destinations, for example 082602.html. So this is a resource that link to the respective resources. So hypertext markup language is a fixed access of a predefined markup tag used to format text, control looks and feel about the web pages. And currently the latest version for HTML is version 5. The second generations of the HTML is the extensive markup language designed to describe data and information. The texts are used and defined by the user. So what's about Unix, the internet and the web? The features on the foundations of e-commerce are built on email. Second, instant messengers, search engine, online forum, streaming media, cookies, web 2.0 features and services. So what's about the email? Email, most used application of the internet, use series of protocol for transferring message with text and attachment from one internet user to another internet user. So the next technology is about the instant messaging. Is display words typed on a computer almost instantly and receive can respond immediately in the same way. For example, a user can using Skype, when they are trying to entertain or facilitate the business activity through online user. So search engine is a third technology. It's identified web pages that match queries based on one or more techniques. For example, they're using keywords and page ranking. It's also served as a shopping tools. For example, advertising vehicles, search engine market, and tool with e-commerce site. Then besides internet, email is commonly used by the internet activities. And then the next, in order to support user to provide more discussion spaces, right? Online forum is one of the business activity. Is enable internet user to communicate with one another, although not in a real time. Member visit forum to check for new posts. Streaming media is another technology. So it enables music, videos, and other large files to be sent to the user in chunk so that the file can play uninterrupted. Allow user to begin play medium file before file is fully downloaded. So it's about cookies. This cookie is a small file deposited by the website on user computing to store information about user, access when user next visit website, and it also can help to personalize a website and user preferences experience, but it also can expose the privacy issue by unauthorized software. For example, spyware. They can harvest the user information and send to the server. So they once the unauthorized software have this information, then the harvest server will try to send an unauthorized email to your email account. So Web 2.0 all features and services. User can do podcasting. It's about audio presentation stored as audio file and available for download from the web. And the next right is about the wikis. Allow user to add and edit content on the web page. And the next right is about music and video services. It's allow user to uploading and downloading online video, and they also can download the digital videos on demand. The next technology is about VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. Use internet transmissions, communication voice. For example, user can perform communications through Skype applications, video conference, video chat, and telepreference. And of course, they also have certain intelligence personal assistant, which interpret the voice command to transact with various web service, for example, Apple Series and Google Now. So the next medium used to perform M transactions or e-commerce is mobile apps, and normally is related by using mobile apps. Over 80% of online shoppers are mobile shoppers as well. So it's going to increase and use and purchase from the tablet. There are certain very popular platforms, for example, iPhone, iPad from iOS provided by Apple's, then Android and Blackberries, App Marketplace, Google Plays. User can download this application right from Google's Play, Apple's App Store, RM's App Store, worldwide Windows Phone and markets. So this is the places to get and download the latest applications. And I just make a summarize, right? There are few technologies supported by e-commerce currently. So it's about the internet's e-commerce infrastructures. And thank you.